there's some things there that are causing you to act out right away. So if we can think about maybe some of the self-destructive thoughts that you have, your inability to have control, that it's other people who need to have control and not you, that your lack of control will mean that you will never get to see your mom again. What do you think we can do to replace those negative thoughts with positive thoughts? What kind of positive things could we say instead?
Maybe I could say that there's no reason to get upset over something so small.
Okay.
Like, it's not worth it.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, that's awesome. And sort of those types of statements we can put into one larger sort of statement we call a coping statement. And that's a lot like your coping skills, but instead of things you use, very small, different things like coloring or taking a walk, this is going to be like a statement you would say, or a mantra you'd repeat to yourself when you felt you were starting to get angry. So for instance, for example, if my coping statement might be like, not everyone is going to like me or agree with me. And it would be nice if everyone did like me and did agree with me. But if they're not going to, it's my responsibility to respond to them and make the right decision on how to react. Does that make sense? That statement means I'm acknowledging what's making me upset, but at the same time, I'm acknowledging it's my responsibility to stay in control. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think that you could say? That'd be like individual to you.
Let's see. It's not worth it to get angry over something so small. If I feel like I'm going to combust, then for me to just step away from the situation and not hurt someone, and then maybe think through it, and then when I'm calmer and I settle down, that I'll come back to the situation and talk it out with them.
Okay.
And yeah.
Great, that's awesome. So that's, you deciding that when you start to get upset, you can walk away from them or tune them out because it's not a big deal. You don't want to make it a big deal.
Yeah.
And then you can come back afterwards. Yeah, that's fantastic. Definitely. That's a great coping statement. But something I definitely want to remind you and make sure you understand is that that's not something that's always going to work. Like rethinking or retraining the way that we think is very difficult, to think in a different way. So this will work sometimes and other times it won't, but with more practice, it will be something that becomes more natural. So if you think that's something that you can try to sort of implement in your everyday?
Yeah.
I think that's something that might work for you? Okay. All right, well, our session is, it's wrapping up here, but are you interested in maybe doing a little bit of treatment work the next few sessions? All right, great. All right, well, I want you to take your journal that you have, and every time after you feel angry or you have an outburst or some kind of incident occurs where your coping statement didn't work for you, you weren't able to walk away from the situation with that statement, I want you to record what you were thinking or feeling directly before, during, and after that incident, okay?
Okay.
And what that's going to help us do is sort of try to identify patterns and maybe what sets you off, what things you think about that make you upset. So then we can incorporate those into your coping statement and also into sort of our everyday discussions when we have session. Does that sound like it makes sense to you? Okay with you?
Yeah.
All right. And also, I guess the only other thing I'd really like for you to do is for you to sort of keep a tally and record instances when your coping statement did work. And that could be very small things, like one of your peers is like bothering you, just like pestering you one day and it was really bothering you and you had to use your coping statement. That's totally fine, record that you successfully were able to use it in that instance. Because a part of like being able to retrain your brain and make it think differently is that you need to reward yourself for your successes. And I want you to, acknowledge that you were able to be successful using that statement and walking away from bad situations. So what do you think are some ways that you can think of that might be good rewards for you in that type of instance?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, that's all right. It's sometimes difficult for us to think about those types of things, but we can definitely work on coming up with them together. But for now, maybe you could try just like saying to yourself that you did a good job. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you are successful using your coping statement, just, even if it's just into your mind, say, like, I did a good job, that was good. Because not having an incident and not getting in fights yet means you're getting closer to reaching your goal of being with your mom, so you want to reward yourself for getting closer to that place. Do you think it's something you can try to say to yourself?
Yeah, I mean, it will be weird at
Yeah.
first. I mean,
Yeah.
good job, Taylor.
Yeah.
But-
It can be awkward at times, yeah. But it's something that you'd be surprised the more you do, the more you, it's sort of like patting yourself on the back, you know, but just in your mind. We don't really do that enough sometimes, so it can be something that really helps.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, you give all of that a shot, and I look forward to looking through your journal and stuff in our next few sessions and seeing how that goes. Okay?
Okay.
All right, it was great seeing you. I can walk you out.
Okay.